they had to come up with a word to explain what Jesus went through. It's the word excruciate. It means out of the cross. And it was so bad that he died that horrible and gruesome death because he loved you. Amen. And he loved me. But the Bible says that on the third day, he rose from the dead in power and great glory. And today, he's alive and well, and he sits on his throne in heaven, and he waits. He waits. Because one day, he's going to come back, and he's going to rapture the church, and we're going to be with him forever and ever. And we win it all. We win it all. I've read the back of the book. We win it all. So make sure that you have unity not only with God's people, but also with a friend that sticks closer than a brother. He was there for me the entire time. Unless you stay with Jesus, you cannot be saved. There is no other way. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no one comes to the Father except through me, through Christ. When I was in Morgantown, I had many close friends, and those friends helped me. They helped me to get through. And I mentioned that we had started a Bible study, and the Bible study grew up to about 100 men who were coming. Some wouldn't come every week, but they would come in and out in the Bible study. And there was a little known rule at the prison that I was at, the federal prison. The inmates couldn't assemble for any reason. And this really wasn't enforced. The rule wasn't enforced. In fact, the guards, they kind of liked the Bible study. They saw some good in it, and some of the guards really didn't care. They didn't think much of the Bible at all, but some of the guards were pleased about the Bible study. In fact, some of the harsher guards would come by and they would just smile, and they saw what was going on. And everything was going fine until one day I got a call over the intercom, and it went kind of like this. Inmate Johnson, report to the lieutenant's office. You never want to be called to the lieutenant's office. Never. Because normally when you were called to the lieutenant's office, it meant that you probably wouldn't be seen again. Because oftentimes people who were called to the lieutenant's office were problem prisoners, people who had gotten in trouble for fighting or for having a weapon or for attempted escape, some serious offense. It was a serious offense if you were called to the lieutenant's office. And I heard that and I thought, what in the world? What could it be? Maybe it's not me. And I started to rationalize. And I said, I hadn't done anything wrong. I've got a perfect behavior record. I hadn't done anything wrong. What could it be? Maybe it's another Johnson. And so I went to the lieutenant's office, and the lieutenant said, you Johnson? I said, yes, sir, I'm Ray Johnson. And he said, what have you been doing up in the unit? I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I said that because I didn't know what he was talking about. And so he said, well, you're going to have time to figure it out in the hole. And a guard grabbed my arms, and he put my arms behind my back, and he put handcuffs on my hands, and tight, really tight, hurt my hands. And he grabbed me and just escorted me across the compound in front of all the other prisoners with my hands behind my back in handcuffs. And they escorted me to a place known as the SHU. It stands for Special Housing Unit. And it's an awful place. It has razor wire around the top, and it has these cells in it that's called the hole. It's solitary confinement. And you go in there, and what happened was, I said, what did I do? What did I do? And they never would tell me. They said, you're under investigation. And so they took me and they throwed me into this padded cell. And this guard, I'll never forget the sound of that door slamming. Bam! And then this little metal trap door flipped down. It said, stick your hands through the hole. And my hands behind my back, I stuck my hands through the hole. They took the handcuffs off, and I'm behind these bars, these big, heavy steel bars. And I said, what did I do? What did I do? He said, shut up, you're under investigation. Take off your clothes. I took off my shirt. He said, the rest of it. I took off my prison pants. He said, the rest of it. I took everything off, and I stood there in front of that guard completely naked. It was humiliating. And he said, hold your hands out from your side. I held them out. He said, lift your foot up. And I let my hands down. No, hold your hands up. Held my hands up, completely nude. Said, lift your left foot up. Left foot up. I can balance pretty good, can't I? Wiggle your toes. Wiggle my toes. And you know what? It was such a vulnerable position. And just for a moment, just a brief moment, I think that I felt just a little teeny bit about what maybe not, it's not even a comparison, it's not a fair comparison, but just for a moment, because I knew that I didn't do anything wrong. I'm like, what did I do? And he wouldn't even tell me the charges against me. And when I was standing there completely naked, completely vulnerable to this man, as I was totally exposed, I remembered that the soldiers gambled for his clothes. When Jesus hung on the cross, you know, we see these renderings, these pictures of Jesus having this little loincloth thing. He didn't have it. He was completely nude. And the soldiers gambled for his clothes. And part of that was humiliation and shame. And what I was going through was intentional humiliation. He said, put your right foot up, wiggle your toes, look between your toes. He held a flashlight and looked in my mouth to make sure that I didn't have a weapon in my mouth. I was like, what did I do? Shut up, you're under investigation. The little trap door fell down. Bam! Stick your hands through the hole. Stuck my hands through the hole. They put the handcuffs back on me. They throwed me a pair of used underwear. Said, put the underwear on. I'm like, my hands are handcuffed. Put the underwear on. And somehow was able to get the underwear on. And with nothing but a pair of used, dirty underwear, they opened the door. I'll never forget the sound of those keys, those heavy keys. And they stuck those keys in, they stuck it in the lock, and they turned it, and it was like this mechanism inside, and all these bolts were like, and it would open, and this big, heavy door would come open, and he took me, and they grabbed me by my hands, and they escorted me into the hole. They stuck the door in it, turned it, the locks came down, and they said, meet your new cellmate. Throwed me into the hole. What did I do? You're under investigation. And as I sat there on that bunk in the hole, it was a little 8x8 concrete cell. The ceiling was about 6 foot high, and it's all concrete, a concrete gray painted floor. And in the corner was a stainless steel toilet and a stainless steel sink. You brush your teeth the same place you use the bathroom, right there in the corner. And there was a man there sitting there was a little gray bench bolted to the wall. And a man sitting there, his name was Q. And Q said, what'd you do? I said, I don't know. He said, yeah, right. What did you do? I said, I don't know why I'm in here. He said, you got to know why you're in here. I said, I don't know why I'm here. I said, the only thing I can think of is I have a Bible study. He said, they won't throw you in the hole for having a Bible study. Did you try to escape? Did you have a weapon? Did you get into a fight? I said, I don't know what it was. So I began to bang on the steel door.